It's time to get the story behind the story. Interviews with newsmakers, newsbreakers, and Vermonters making a difference. WCAX presents 802 News with Mark Johnson. Here's Mark.
This is the story of Mitra Mahtab, a 29-year-old Afghan woman who fled her country in 2021 after the United States completed its troop withdrawal and the Taliban regained control. As you may recall, the U.S. invaded Afghanistan after the 2001 9/11 attacks in an attempt to root out members of al-Quaeda. After American troops left in 2021, the U.S.-backed Afghan government collapsed, allowing the Taliban to swiftly seize back control. The Taliban greatly restricts the human rights of Afghan women. In this edition of 802 News, you'll hear about Mitra's long and perilous journey to Vermont and her plans to help other Afghan women after she graduates from the University of Vermont. First, a word from our sponsor, Red Hen Baking Company. At Red Hen Baking Company, they believe pure, uncomplicated ingredients in the hands of skilled artisans are the building blocks for great food. They're dedicated to creating the best food from the best ingredients. You'll find an ever-changing lineup of delicious pastries, sandwiches, and soups at their beautiful cafe off Route 2 in Middlesex, just off I-89. Their breads are also available in many other locations. Led by owners Randy George and Eliza Kane, Red Hen Baking Company has been on the leading edge of the local food movement since 1999.
2021, I was doing a lot of things at the time. I started because my mother started the first women's union. She started helping other women to get their rights. Not too much, just right to education, a little bit. She was just trying to support them. Then she got this high position. She was the highest ranking official in the region. She was the deputy governor of our province. So it was a very high position and everybody knew her. So I'm talking about the day that Taliban entered my city. It was in Kabul, not in my province. Americans decided to leave. And when they decided to leave, there was a chaotic situation in provinces because Americans are leaving and we cannot survive without them. So Afghan government learned, like the leaders, that, oh my God, we are not surviving here. We have to leave. So the president was thinking about how to flee the country. Everyone was thinking about fleeing the country. And in my province, it happened earlier. So Americans were leaving, not at it happened in a moment. It was a week that during the evacuation time. But in my province, we lost control. Taliban raided my mother's office. So they raided my mother's home. Before that, we learned that Taliban are coming. The governor told my mother that we cannot save you. Go find your place. Like, government cannot do anything for you. And I went to my mother's office with the driver and said, Mom, we should go. So we left it and I talked to one of my friends that, can you let my mother stay with you? So I talked to a couple of them, but they were like, it's too risky for us, we cannot. And I was looking for a family who is not well known, who is not in the society, someone who is a farmer, then my mother could go there and hide. So people were, it's too risky. Then one of my friends accepted. We moved my mother there. She was hiding there, and then I learned that, Taliban came to the city. Taliban took over my mother's office, my mother's home. So we have to flee. Where should we go? No place to go. But we knew that we should flee, but where? Who is going to accept us? So Afghanistan is in this situation. A couple of times we were thinking that we should go to Kabul. Maybe Americans would help us get evacuated. But then we were like, who knows that, it's a long way to there. It takes us 20 hours and we are not allowed to travel without a male guardian, that they call it mahram. So how should we get there if they recognize my mother during the time that we are getting there. So we changed our mind. I had a sister in Kabul. She insisted a lot, but we didn't go. I said, no, Mom, it's too risky. We are not going there. Just let's go to Iran. Iran is the closest country to my province. So then we fled. We went to the border with no documentation, nothing. And there we begged to the Iranian government, please let us in. They are going to kill us. And they didn't. We waited there for the whole day. We went there early morning, and at I think 5-6 p.m. they let us go. So the whole time I was crying, going to people, asking them, please, my mother was in this position. If you don't let me go, please let her go in. And I was there, and my 2 younger sisters and my mother. And then finally they let us go into the country, but we were undocumented. We didn't have anything. People just felt that, okay, we should, this woman, they searched my mother, and Taliban are not going to let her stay. So they were, okay, they opened the doors, and we went to Iran.
And then what happened?
Then my grandmother, she still lived in Iran. After the Afghan-Soviet war, they fled. Then she had 8 kids. She stayed there, took care of her kids. Her husband was killed by Russia, so her husband. So my grandfather, I'm talking about him. After that, my grandmother decided to stay there. So she had a little apartment there. So when we moved there and we had no place to go, so we went to her place. So it was really hard. I was there for 2 months with my mother and 2 sisters, and one of my sister has Down syndrome. She's 21, and she sometimes does things that people don't like. So she would give my grandmother a hard time. We were in a very difficult situation. Then I said, I wanted to do something for my mom, but I couldn't. The only thing that I could do was leaving. I didn't want to see my mom and my sisters in that difficult situation. So I said, I'm not going to stay here. I should find my way. And I got to talk to a friend who worked for Americans, and I said, I don't know what to do, but I'm in a very difficult situation. And he said that he's going to talk to his friends that he worked with to see if any of those would help. And one of them, who worked in Afghanistan back in 2010, and my mother supported their project because of the patriarchy, structure of the community in Afghanistan over there, so they couldn't connect with women. So my mother helped them connect with women, do things for women. So he was like, okay, I remember. Without her support, we couldn't do anything. I'm going to support her family. But once he learned that it's too much, he accepted to support me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to leave my family, my mother and sisters, and I'm going to go to Pakistan because there's a US embassy. That's what he asked, that if you want to get my help, you should be in a country with a US embassy. There's no US embassy in Iran, no in Afghanistan. So I decided to go to Pakistan because it was the closest country that I could go that had a US embassy. And that's what I did. I moved to Afghanistan. That friend had me in his place with his kids and everyone. And then they found a family who was moving to Pakistan, and I joined them. So I had no idea who they are, but I just joined them because I couldn't travel by myself. A woman is not allowed to travel alone in Afghanistan. Then I went to Kabul. My ex-husband, he took me to Kabul. I joined that family, and whole night we were talking about this, that if Taliban stopped us and asked who you are, you should say that you are the guy told me that you should say I'm his son's wife, because they would only let you go with a male family member. Like you could go with your husband, your brother, your father, or your son. So I was kind of connecting myself with their family, and because they were from a different race, so you could tell that we are not, like, I'm not their daughter. So they decided to introduce me this way. So we stayed up all night talking about this, who you are, what are your names, what's my name, how many sisters do you have, because sometimes when they think that, oh, maybe you are lying, they stop you and ask questions separately, like who is that, how many siblings she has, because they are sure if I'm a family member, they would know that. So we stayed the night, and in the morning, early morning, everything was organized for us. American friends here organized it for us. They hired someone to come and pick us up. It was a bigger car, I think they called them a van. So we were 13 people in that van. It was hot, so we went to the border. And here at the border, because Taliban hate women, they don't even want to look at women. They don't want to talk to women. So they asked the head of, like, the men to bring all our passports. And he took a bunch of passports. He went to the Taliban and they stamped all of them. And they didn't even look at us. And we crossed the border. And I said, thank God, I survived this. Then, like, in Pakistan was even more difficult. We had, like, our Afghan SIM cards, they wouldn't work there. No access to internet, no access to anything. So my family had no idea where I am. I disappeared for 2 days. And then after 2 days, I could just contact my mom and say that I arrived here safe and sound. I will contact you later. I got Wi-Fi from someone. It took us a week to have access to Wi-Fi and internet. And by the way, we had no idea how to use technology, none of us. So we could go out. It was, when I talk to people here, they are like, it has happened. Older people tell me that it has happened to them because during the years ago when they were traveling, it has happened to them that they travel and they have to just look around which direction I should go to. It was my situation. And Pakistan is not safe for women either. It's not safe here too. It's not safe anywhere in the world for women. I don't know.
And what was your plan once you got to Pakistan?
This friend accepted to support me, sponsor me to get to the United States. I moved to Pakistan just because there was a US embassy there. So in Iran, we had no plans. We couldn't work. We couldn't do anything. It was just lots of difficulty. I thought if I can get to the United States, then I can support my family. So it will be much better. And it is. I love it here. I cannot even compare this country with those situations. Something has went wrong here too, but it doesn't mean that it's not a good place. I love it here. But it took me some time to learn what is safe, what is not. In Pakistan, I just wanted to be there to have an interview with the US Embassy. They would process my case. So this friend, he hired a lawyer, and he said he will apply. There was a kind of visa that Biden administration started giving Afghans at the time because they learned, oh, there are so many Afghans left behind. We cannot just leave them there. It's like they didn't work directly with us, but they helped with us. They supported our projects. So they opened this opportunity, and he immediately hired that lawyer to apply for me. And after that, when I moved to Pakistan, after I think a couple of weeks of difficulty looking around, someone told me that, all of those cases were cancelled. They are not processing those. And I got really depressed. Oh my God, what should I do now here? How can I survive? I have a visa that's expiring in 6 months, and I knew that they are not gonna renew it for me. It's very difficult. He paid lots of money to get that visa for me, and it's still the same situation. It's very corrupted. So you have to find people who know people and pay thousands of dollars to get a visa for 6 months, and after 6 months again it happens again. And now it's too much pressure on myself because I have some family there, so it's not an interesting situation there.
How long did it take you to get out of Pakistan?
2 years.
Which is a lot longer than what you had planned.
Yeah, I thought I'm gonna go there and have an interview, and they are gonna see that I'm not safe. I cannot stay in Afghanistan. It might not be that difficult. So I was a public figure. I had a lot of documentation to prove, and I was kind of okay. Thank God this door is open to me. I can get there. But when I moved, I'm like, oh, it's not working. There's no interview. They are not, and I'm hearing that nobody is processing my case either. So it was difficult. It took me 2 years, and in uncertainty, knowing nothing how it's gonna be in the future, where I can be. I was sure that I cannot build a home in Pakistan, but I didn't know where I can do it. But I'm happy that I finally ended up in Vermont. So it was a great place to start, though I had my difficulties, but after a year and a half, receiving all the support and being all these supportive people around, so I think now I feel I belong to Vermont. Maybe I wasn't born here, but I belong to Vermont. I feel it's home. It's been like a few months that I have this feeling, but now I don't feel that it's not my home, or it's like I need to go back somewhere that's home. No, I think I can work here. I can do a lot here.
How did you get out of Pakistan? What was sort of the break that happened for you after the 2 years, or at the 2 year point?
At the 2 years, I was waiting for because I applied. I was waiting for the U.S. Embassy to call me and ask me for an interview or something, but it never happened until the very last month. Like, it was after a year and 10 months. But during this time, I got disappointed several times. I was thinking that it's better to go dead. Like, you don't want to live this life. It's too much. I got disappointed several times that my sponsor said that he wants to support me get a student visa, apply for something, a different path. And I was so happy. Okay, let's try that. If that way didn't work this way, hopefully it's gonna work. And I applied for student visa, but I couldn't speak English at the time. I started studying English. It was kind of my second year in Pakistan that if you want to get a student visa, you should learn English. But it was really difficult. Like, language is not something that you can learn without speaking with people. So I studied vocabulary, I studied books, but I tried writing, and there were two very nice retired professors here, one in Vermont and one in Boston, who volunteered to help me with my writing. But it was still difficult. I never felt that I learned English, or I'm learning English, because I couldn't speak it. Whenever I wanted to watch a movie, I couldn't understand. I was frustrated that, no, Mitra, you don't understand. It was very frustrating. It was my time over there practicing to get ready to go for my interview. They gave me a date. I was supposed to go for an interview after 3 months. I was scheduled. And then in 3 months, I did as much as I could. I studied a lot. I went to that student visa interview in the U.S. Embassy, and they took only a few minutes asking me what my name is, what I'm there for, what university I want to go. I said University of Vermont. Why Vermont? I said because University of Vermont accepted me, and I really didn't know how to respond to those questions. And then she asked me about my family. Where are my family? And that was the last question, because they want to make sure that you have ties to go back to a different place once you graduate from school in the United States. And once I told them that my mother is in Iran with 2 sisters, and I have 2 sisters in Turkey, and I have no one in my country. So they were like, they didn't tell me, but I could tell that it's like you have no ties to go back and you are going to stay in the United States. So they said no. They refused me. I came out crying, thinking that no, that life is not for me. But I tried to be strong. Everyone told me that no, that's okay. Everyone gets refused in their first interview. Go try again. I never failed in my life. It was very difficult. It was the first time, but I was like, I'm gonna try again. I applied again. I went to the second interview, and again the same thing happened. I got refused. This time I was really tired. If I didn't have these American friends to help me feel better, I was like done with this life. And they said, no, you can apply again. We know people who have had interviews 4 times. You can apply again. And it was expensive, but they sponsored me. They paid for all of that. Go again for another interview. But I hate that law that doesn't let students come in and study. If they do well, I wish they could stay here. What is wrong with someone coming here, getting an education, and doing a good job in this country? So I was scheduled for the 3rd interview. I was studying, but this time I was very nervous. I couldn't really study. I couldn't concentrate. I was always thinking that I'm gonna get refused again. No, it's not gonna work. I was thinking very negative. Then I heard from my lawyer that they have sent me an approval to go for an interview for other case that I already had. And she said, we need to do something, fill out the form. Maybe they are processing your case. They didn't ask me for an interview. They just sent me the approval that, okay, you prove to us that you are not safe in your country. Your documents are enough. You had enough proof. And everybody was happy that, oh, Mitra, it's gonna work. Don't depress yourself. But I couldn't believe it. I thought it's all lies. It's not gonna work. So depressed. I went to my interview this time, and I was sure this interview is gonna be the same with student visa interviews. But this time, because it was a different kind of visa, they asked me questions. I answered, and they said, okay, go, we will let you know. I wasn't lucky enough. They had a wrong email address for me. Again, it disappeared. I was waiting every day for what happened after the interview. They didn't let me know. And I hate this part of the story. It's impossible to get to the US Embassy in Pakistan. If you email them, you will receive this automatic response, and they will never get back to you. I understand this because so many people are there and they expect them to respond, but like many Afghans in uncertainty and many other people. So they have made it very difficult for people to get there. So, and I contacted them. I couldn't talk to them. Then I'm like, what should I do? They said they will let me know in a week, and it's a week now. So I was concerned. I said I should go try to get there. I went to the shuttle service, like all the embassies are in a place, so I was begging there, please let me go in. But those people were like, we are not allowed to. So how can I talk to US Embassy? Believe me, I had an interview, I want to go there, and nobody believed me. I had to beg to everyone. Then once one of them said, okay, come in, but there were so many steps. It was impossible, but I made it. Begging, I got to the US Embassy. It was like 7 different steps. I passed all of those. And when I got there, then the window that was open, I was telling them, they were like, tell me what's the time for your interview and give me your passport number. I'm like, I don't have an interview, but I'm giving you my passport number. Please check if my passport is here. And they didn't want to talk to me, that no, you don't have an appointment, you cannot, it's not walk-in. I said, please, please let someone inside know that I'm here, because they told me they will let me know in a week. And then as soon as they contacted people inside, they were like, yes, immediately brought her in. We issued her visa, and she doesn't have that much time. They give me 30 days to leave, otherwise the visa is going to expire. So I got my visa, my passport, with the stamp in it that you are allowed to leave as soon as possible. So I had still 22 days something to leave, but I was in a rush. I said, I'm not going to wait a minute. I just want to leave. I don't want this to expire. I don't want things to go wrong. So I didn't went for that. Immediately I did a little bit of shopping and packed my bag and moved here with 2 bags to Vermont. And this nice family who offered me free housing, and the family who sponsored me to come here, they were in the airport waiting for me. I wasn't in a good shape to understand what's happening. I was very nervous, very scared, and I couldn't even trust people here, because I'm coming from a country where people are very poor. They wouldn't do something for you without expecting you to give them something back. And that was my move here. For 3 months I was very scared. I would lock the door as soon as I would go to my room, and I couldn't sleep. I would go to school. I couldn't communicate with students, no friends, nobody, and I couldn't make friends. It was very difficult. For 6 months was the most difficult, when I was learning the language, going to UVM, while I couldn't speak English. I couldn't understand those long lectures, but I didn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. I would stay awake whole night, study. So I had nothing else in my life. Weekends, study for few months, and I didn't pay rent. I was lucky enough not to pay rent. I wasn't very expensive, and this family, they helped me, and that family helped me financially for my first semester. But then I started working for my second semester. And then I was working a lot, like 4 jobs. And then studying, it was too much at the same time. But I was thinking that I'm gonna survive anything. I survived war, I survived all of that. It's nothing. I didn't feel pressured. Everybody would tell me that it's a lot, don't do it. Now that I look back, I'm not able to do that now, but for a year I couldn't feel anything. I was here and I was happy. Oh my God, I can work. I couldn't work. I can be independent. As soon as I moved here, this family, James and Nancy, they taught me to drive. I could never drive in Afghanistan, but I was happy. I was excited that I can drive. I got my license, I think the second month that I got here. So I was lucky enough to receive all this support, but I look at some other Afghans or some other immigrants who don't get the same support that I got, and it really hurts me. There are non-profits out there. They are trying to help. I would love to see them have a better understanding of how they can help. They are trying, but I don't think that what they are doing is that effective. There's one non-profit, Vermont Afghan Alliance. They started when the government collapsed. And they are out there, they are teaching people to drive. They started as a driving program because Afghan women, they have never had, even if they are 50, 60, they have never had the chance to drive. So they started their program with teaching Afghan women to drive. And then Afghan men, there are some Afghan men too. I think it was a very impactful work. But then they expanded to other works like housing, employment, these kind of things. But during my very difficult time when I couldn't find job, but I couldn't do anything, when I was crying, at the time they couldn't do anything for me. And several times they told me that I'm educated and I should be able to take care of myself. So I'm not their priority, because they had so many more cases that were in much worse situation than me. Some other organizations like Technology for Tomorrow, they helped me a lot. I came here with no computer skills, zero. So I bought my first computer when I was from Pakistan, because I thought it's cheaper. This family sponsored me. I bought the computer. And I moved here. I could only like turn it on, look at the page. I tried changing the screen, like this kind of things, but I had no idea what else I can do with that. And I went to school, to UVM. I was like, they would ask me to go find the materials online, and I'm like, I know how to use smartphones. Like I had the smartphone back home, I had when I came here. So some applications that like email, I opened my email in my phone, so I could check that. But then I was like, I cannot find the material. I would go to people, cry. Then they would tell me, why wouldn't you go to Student Accessibility Services? I would go there and they would say, they are sorry, they are for people with disability. Do I have a disability? No, I don't. So they would say, go to the Student Office of International Student. I said, okay. I went there crying that I don't know how to find the materials. I bought these books, I have the books, but I don't know how. My homework is online, I don't know how to do it. And they were like, we don't have any services, because everybody who come to school, they know how to use a computer. International students, because they plan to come here, they study, but it wasn't my plan, I was forced. So they said they don't have any services, but she was very nice. The lady Sarah that I met with, she felt like, okay, you are feeling so bad, I'm happy as a person to help you as a person, but we don't have any services for you. So she offered me a lot of help, and then I got to know this organization and they helped me. Now I'm on the board with them. So I did my best to use all the resources available for me. Now I'm good with computer. This semester I started typing my notes. I couldn't type when I first got. Now with my computer I make my notes, and I'm so happy and I'm proud of myself that I didn't kill myself during all those difficult times. But now I think I can do anything in the world. I'm not afraid of losing this place. I'm not afraid of losing my boyfriend. I'm not afraid of losing my mom. I'm not afraid of anything. It may hurt me, but I wouldn't stop.
Wow. Do you feel safe in the United States today, given everything that's going on with people being deported?
Okay, I should be honest. I wasn't feeling safe when the administration changed and everybody was like, no, they don't. Everybody was like, you shouldn't travel, you shouldn't do anything, you should stay here. If they recognize you, so something may go wrong. And I was very scared, because that visa that I had, I told you about the 30 days that they gave me to leave, and it wasn't a common thing, it was a new thing. And it happened for me several times that when people looked at my visa, they would say it's expired, though it was a 2 years visa. So I was very scared even before this administration, that what should I do? They look like, even when I entered the country, they checked my passport and they're like, your visa is expired, you are not allowed. Then I needed to explain, they needed to call people, and they are like, oh, you have 2 years. So I was thinking, if someone check my documents and they don't understand my kind of visa, it's really scary. What if they deport me? But then I applied for asylum. My asylum got approved. It made me feel much better, but still, people were telling me, don't be happy with asylum. People with green cards are not safe here. So you just got your asylum approved. You can apply for green card next year. Not less, there should be a year in between. Then I can apply for green card. So she was like, so don't feel safe. Everybody told me. And I could tell that it's not that safe. After I was attacked on Church Street last year, and I went to police, and police didn't listen to me, I'm like, maybe there's nothing for me here. When I cannot put a report in their record, so how I can feel safe here. I was scared for a very long time, and then I looked back at everything that has happened to me, and I thought, I'm not gonna be scared. I was doing things, but not in public. I wouldn't speak freely. I would stop myself from doing so many things because I have like ideas. I am a very active woman. I have been a human rights advocate. I wanted to do these things, feel it's home, and do like fight for human rights here. So I wanted to start those, but everybody was like, no, it's not safe for you, and I could feel that. Then I looked back, said, Mitra, you have done so much. You might be dead now. You have been through all of these. Don't scare yourself. Do whatever you want. So it's like 2-3 months that I decided it was so much depression, like pressure on me, pressure I put on myself. I thought, okay, that's okay. If they deport me, at the end of the day, the worst thing that would happen would be me ending up dead. And it's not such a big deal. So, yes, now I don't care.
What happened when you were attacked in Burlington?
In Burlington, I was new in this country, and I thought America is very safe. So people really didn't scare me at first. It was Halloween night. I went to an Afghan friend who has a daughter who was 11, and she was like, take me out. So she doesn't have a father, and her mother wouldn't take her out. She couldn't drive at the time. She couldn't do anything. So then she said, auntie, please take me out. I said, okay, it's like 6 p.m. Let's go. So 6 p.m. Halloween night, he wanted to see what's happening outside. He wanted to see how it looks like the Halloween night. I said, okay. We went to Church Street. I said, we will have ice cream there. And when we went, it was all beautiful lights, like colorful, beautiful lights. And she took her mother's phone, and she was making a video of that beautiful Church Street at the moment. And my friend called me, and I was on a phone call. And then somebody suddenly started running behind me, from behind my back. He came and took my phone and threw it on the ground, and very harshly, that my phone split in parts, and then started cursing me using very, very bad words. I was so scared because like if it happened in my country, I could defend, do something, because I expected that there. But here I really didn't expect that. I was completely frozen, couldn't do anything. It looked like I was in a honeymoon. I moved here. Though I couldn't speak the language, I had the motivation that that's the place. Here I can grow. Here I can do things. Nobody's gonna oppress me. Nobody's gonna stop me. As long as I'm not hurting others, I'm free here. And then when it happened, my world collapsed again. So it's not safe here. I made a mistake. I came here, and then everybody said that, yeah, Church Street is not safe. Don't go there. And I tried to go to police and tell them that it happened to me. At least listen to me and tell me that, put it into your records that, okay, somebody was attacked on Church Street, but it never happened. I asked Vermont Afghan Alliance to support me. Molly Gray, who went to law school, She supported me emotionally. Once she came with me to the um, police station, like it was in Burlington. We went there. She came with me, but we had an appointment already scheduled, but even the police officer didn't come to the appointment. We were waiting there, and then they said, "We are sorry, we are short staffed, so we have to cancel your appointment." And they said, so one person named Hannah, she came to me and gave me her number, and she said, maybe what do I enjoy? Maybe I should do something that I enjoy to feel better. And she wanted to help me to feel better, but that wasn't exactly what I was asking for. There were so many other people around me to make me feel better. I expected police to put a report that this woman, and we had videos, like Church Street had videos, and we had the video that this kid was taking. In that video, I still have it. There is this guy cursing me, and like you can hear him starting to run after me and take my phone, and you can hear and see everything. I came with the video to the police officer, and it really hurt me. I don't know if it's the way it works in this country, but I felt that I'm not safe here. I should be more careful, take care of myself. If police is not gonna listen to me. And I asked people, and now I know better. I'm not going at 6-7 p.m. to Church Street. To be honest, I would never go there again, but in the evenings. But yes, that was what happened.
How do you feel about the American government leaving in 2021 in Afghanistan?
I would say it was very difficult on me. I thought that the whole world collapsed on my shoulders when they left, because when I moved there, I wasn't deeply aware of what is happening. So it was the big picture that I couldn't see. I was just there and feeling safe that they are gonna stay here. And I was pretty sure that they are not gonna leave, because it wasn't the time. They came there and promised women that they will support them, they will have their rights. We didn't have our rights even at the time in Afghanistan, but we were hoping that the change is coming. We were trying. And I don't know, the support that we had was the US government. I myself personally traveled to villages, talked to women about their rights, and always like gave them advice that their families wouldn't like those, but like giving them guidance, trying to open their eyes. And I always said that, look, the world is changing, the US is here, we have support, don't be scared. And I encouraged women to go play volleyball. Sports is like stigma, very bad thing in my country for women. We encouraged them to, like, we made the first volleyball team. So I was all supportive of all these new ideas that conservative society didn't like. And when the government collapsed, I was feeling very like Americans left and government collapsed, and now all these women who took a step toward their freedom, toward their independence, all of them are being oppressed again. Though they were oppressed already, but now they have no hope. They are gonna be scared. And I felt guilty that I told them that no, it's gonna get better. I wish I didn't tell anything. Now that they have, like, at least at the time they had no idea that they have rights. They thought that it's the way life it is and it's supposed to be. But think about this. You go, tell them that they have rights, and as soon as they start taking a step, you leave them. They are not independent yet. So that is what happened in Afghanistan. I think US government did a lot, but it was just starting point. I would say if the US government didn't really want to do it, they shouldn't take the step to go to Afghanistan. It was too much work. But letting people know that, hey, you have rights, but you have some rights that nobody is gonna give them to you. So it's more, I think people suffer more now, more than what they used to.
What is it like being here now in 2025? You're on your own. You're not with your family. How are you able to do this on your own?
In my country, women are not supposed to live on their own. I want to be honest. Though I call myself a strong woman, when I first moved here, I was so scared to be on myself. I would it would never happen if I was back home. Like, you always, like, if I'm married and my husband dies, then I would go to my sister. So I'm not supposed to stay on my own as a woman. To my parents, to my sister, to my brother, but I'm not supposed to stay on my own. Some family member would give me space. I can work, I can do things, like I could at the time, but I'm not really independent, and I can never be. So when I moved here, I was very scared. I have no family here. Who knows why these people are helping me? So I was pessimistic, because as I mentioned, in my country there's poverty, so much poor people, and they can't help each other. And I was thinking that, okay, if somebody helps me, they expect me to do, I don't know, maybe the best scenario for me was that Nancy and James are gonna ask me to their house chores, and that's great. Hopefully they are not gonna make me things that I don't want to do. So I stayed with them, but I used to be scared. Like, I thought that they may oppress me, they may tell me not to do this. That's the culture I was coming from. And what if they tell me, leave this place? Where should I go? I would go homeless. So I have no family. I was trying to talk, and I wish my family had a good situation, that I thought that, okay, if I go homeless here, I can go join my family somewhere. But I didn't have that hope. It was very difficult, a very big move. But now in 2025, I feel it took me a year and a half to adjust to my new life here. But now nothing scares me. I think, like, Nancy and James gave me the security. They said, you can stay here as long as you want. Feel it's your home. They gave me the security. I feel much more secure now. But I also think about, okay, maybe they change their mind and they say, go out. It doesn't scare me anymore. I can survive. I know the language. I'm capable of doing many things. Like, I used to be, to have very, very low confidence when I first moved here. I never wanted to talk. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to go to class, listen to the lecture, study, go back and forth to school. That was everything that I could do. Focus on my studies. But now there are so much more that I can do. I worked for Vermont Afghan Alliance as a consultant, where I helped women in Chittenden County, what are their problems and how we can help them be independent, because unfortunately in my culture, women never learn to be independent. But I learned it, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud.
What do you want people that are listening to this to know?
I want them to know that it means the world to me that they opened their arms, their homes, everything to me. I was very welcomed in Vermont. Vermont was a beautiful place to land in when you don't know anyone. I know something went wrong on Church Street. There are bad things happening in the world, but I love it here in Vermont. From the very first day that these people, like, stranger, I would call them a stranger because we didn't have any connections. I love them now. They are very good friends of me, but they were a stranger. They supported me. They let me come in, stay with them when I had no place to go. People loved me when I was unlovable. I didn't know what is right, what is wrong. I was asking too many questions. Like, the culture wasn't familiar for me. but people never made me feel bad, like feel that, like when I look back, I can see that I wasn't the one that I wanted to be. I was very scared here, always dependent on others. That's a face of me that I don't like it. But at that time, they understood me. There are some people who couldn't understand me, like my professors at school. I would go to them and ask them that, okay, I don't understand the language. I go read the books, but there are still so many things I don't get it. Can I come to your office and ask you, because I can stop you and say that, okay, this word I don't know, can you make it simpler for me? But in class I cannot do it. And many of them were open. They spent hours and hours, like extra, more than their office hours, just with me, going through all the materials. One of my professors, God bless her, she died this September. She passed away. She helped me a lot. She was my accounting professor. So she repeated everything several times to me. I want to let people know that even small things can bring a big change to people's lives. And I'm not the same person who landed in Vermont. Now I belong to Vermont, and I'm pretty confident that I can do anything I want here, and I have so many good plans for my future. I think that's all thanks to the people who supported me. If they left me homeless and if they didn't support me, I wouldn't be in this situation. I was strong, but I still needed support.
When you say plans, what do you want to do?
When I first moved here, I was always thinking about women back home who are not allowed to go to school, get an education, have no rights. I really wanted to start an NGO because I know a lot about people back there, but I talked to my mentors and everyone, my professors, everyone who supports me, and I came to realize now after 2 years that I need to be wealthy enough to help others. So I am a finance student. I want to be a financial advisor, and I've learned so much here. I use the opportunities, and I'm pretty good at finances. So I think I'm gonna start as an assistant. Maybe after graduation, I have this offer from Silver Lake Wealth Management that I work with them. I want to work for a while, go get my master's, work again a few years, and then start my non-profit to work to help women over there. I think I've traveled in time. People talk about different cultures, but I don't believe that cultures are different. Cultures are different from one family to the other family, I can say that, but I wouldn't say that Afghan culture, I don't know, Mexican culture, Jamaican culture. I would say we are just in different periods of time. Afghans are so close to change. I believe that they close their eyes. They say they don't want to change. It's our culture. They are trying to preserve their culture, but I think it's not the culture. They are not accepting the change. When I talk to older people here and ask them about the changes in the United States over time, I'm like the first world countries. It's all about people's minds. I love people's mindset, the way they think, the way that they give freedom to each other. Like I even think Republican and Democrats, they have both the same goal. They all want this country to get better. Maybe they think differently, so I wouldn't call these different cultures. I want to help people back home to accept the change, open their eyes, and start thinking in a more positive way. And don't blame the change, or don't, like, they hate change. I want to be that non-profit. But recently I decided that, okay, I cannot wait forever. I started my social media work. So I have already about 8K followers on Facebook and Instagram. And I had no idea that I had this much. And it was all because the people who knew me back home, they started following me. When I noticed that, I said, oh, there are so many people. I posted one of my pictures, and they used, because I wasn't covering my head, like my head wasn't covered, I accepted the change. So they were very mean to me, but I decided to just keep going. People back home were very mean to me that I came to the US and accepted the change. But I thought it's a good way for me to go talk, share my experience. They may not like it at the beginning, but I will find some people who will start accepting change. Afghanistan is an Islamic country, so Muslims are supposed to be covered, like their heads, and they are very extremist Muslims, so it's not the same in other countries. Like I see Muslims here just wearing a scarf and everything else is like American. They are wearing a shirt, jeans, and just a scarf on their head, but it's not the same in my country. It's very extreme. You are supposed to wear so much, and then a big, we call it chadar or bogra. So you should be completely covered, a big thing on you that nobody can see that what shape your body has. So when I posted my picture, it really shocked them. I received so many mean comments that you left the country and you forgot who you are. People who used to love me, who used to confirm what I did, even those people started judging me.
You are a remarkable person.
Thank you, that's so nice of you, but I know that I'm a remarkable person, Nancy told me. I believe that everyone can do it. We are just scared to go outside of our comfort zone. If we dare to do that, we can do anything. So it happened to me that I started going outside of my comfort zone, but a little bit, not too much. But I'm strong because it happened that the life took me in situations that I wasn't comfortable at all. Now I believe that I am very strong. I can do anything, and it's not only about me. Everyone who let them go outside of their comfort zone and challenge themselves, everyone can do anything.
That wraps it up for this edition of 802 News, brought to you by Red Hen Baking Company. Thanks to Mitra for sharing her story, and thank you for listening.